Hello and namaste. Welcome to Mix Masala with TG. I am Tenzin Gopal, a sound visual artist, and this is going to be the final third session with Computational Mama. Just in case you don't know who is Computational Mama and what we are doing in this session, I request you to go back to the previous two sessions and have a listen. And remember to like, subscribe, and share. You will find us in Facebook under the name Mix Masala with TG and in Instagram Tenzin Gopal, aka Funk Blue. I know that you give workshops and things like that. So maybe for the listeners, who knows, if there's some people interested in learning, they want to join your class, maybe that can be helpful for you and for them. So you can talk, give some insights about.
Okay. I have two sort of modes. One is very recent, but the recreating with P5JS is the sort of more practiced workshop that I give.
And that's like a beginner,
Yes,
like for
that's
total
beginners, and very much focused on artists or creators to come in, because that's my own background. So I've developed the workshop in a way that it helps them to get accustomed to coding. And
1 week back, I think you had a session, right?
that
I
was
wanted
for
to join, but
ARM.
I did not have the cash, so I was like, okay.
You should have told me. It's fine. A lot of people join SE, so it's fine. I just put it up front because I know that people can pay, and I don't have any I'm not a full-time staff member anywhere.
No, it was pretty reasonable also. I mean,
it's okay. You should
because
ask
usually
this
it's pretty expensive. I've seen, and even to have conversation is also sometimes can be a challenge. Anyway, please carry on with
so that is the coding workshop is the base, like very basic. You can come with no knowledge of coding. You just need a computer. Mostly I do that online. And it's very much focused on getting artists and creators and designers into understanding coding. Even if you don't do it as a regular thing, but just to embed it in your understanding and practice when you're working with technologists, how to do it. Because I think now you can't run away from that fact. Even if you say, ki, nahi, I don't use, at least some Illustrator, something you're using, na, Google Docs, something. So why not just up that a little bit is what my thought is. So that is very embedded in art history, specifically with South Asian women artists. When we start with Nasreen Mohammadi's work, we go to Zarina's work, then some more new ones like Aisha Jatoi from Pakistan. So each person, based on their specialized style of art, we use to recreate, and we learn some aspects of coding with it. So with Nasreen's, we try to do, okay, how do you do like a plotted piece of work, like with lines and shapes and things. And with Zarina's work, we learn, okay, how do I use loops? So how do I do many of the same thing, which she likes to do a lot. Like she'll have something in a circular form or something. Then we use Aisha's work to understand how to use text, because she does this text stamping kind of a work. Or say we look at Rana Begum in England. She does a lot of work with color, and so then like how do you keep learning a little bit more advanced stuff in the coding by using these artists' works as inspiration and references. Okay. So what it also helps you to see is that art is just like like Nasreen's work. Now I know like a lot of it by heart because I've done it so many times. And she used to keep a diary, and much of that diary was full of mathematical progressions. So that notion that an artist cannot know math or is poor at it, or like they are not good at science, or these are embedded in our education. It's not true. Like now I understand a lot of maths because of coding. I know how to do a spherical projection or what polar coordinates is. But like when I was in 9th standard, I didn't understand this at all. But now I'm like, acha, this is what they were trying to teach me and making me feel bad about it also. Like, like that. Yeah. How did they do two of those things together? So that's what it is about. So like, how do you use that stuff? Like, how do you use simple things like sine, cos? Like, we look at Ranjini Shetter's work. For that, she has the very beautiful artwork with the waves in it.
Mm-hmm.
Or So we've been, well, that's what I've been doing with that project. And we, I think now I've taught more than 100 people, just individually through workshops
Wow.
and things like that. And It's very nice. It's like, mixed group of people, all kinds, architects, artists, sometimes even coders, sometimes teachers. And my oldest student was 65. She was a maths gold medalist
Wow.
turned factory
Interesting.
owner. Now she's doing creative coding work. Amazing woman, like has two grown up kids who are one is an artist also. So it's very nice now. Her work is feeding back into her daughter's art practice, which is really cool. Like, they are doing like
Okay.
some parametric sculptural paper related work. It's very nice.
Wow.
So that is one stream. Then now I'm trying to do more things with AI. So like PoseNet, which I think you've learned of in BF,
Mm-hmm.
to look at poses and how to do it together with poetry. So for me, I don't have any movement or dance background. So I was like, how can I make this interesting to teach people? And I thought, okay, now COVID is over and it's about togetherness. So you're coming together. So it's just like, okay, there's a little bit of poetry happening because two people brought their hands together or whatever. They did a high five, or they like did a leg high
Yeah.
five or something silly like that. So just to like friendly, simple, uh, silly failure kind of formats to be able to learn and access ideas of technology. So now of course it's this AI, renegade AI, which is basically like looking at the peripheries of these data sets. So how can you
Okay.
get interesting works out of that? So we start very simply with like thinking about a sentence for the prompt, which is about a person that you care about, and think of them in a situation, think of them in a style, and all of that. So we slowly build it, and then we keep prompting the machine to see what it gives us. So that's where we have
Mm-hmm.
been at. Yeah, so that is what the AI, renegade AI stuff is. It's more like just understanding the language of this prompting business and really like
Mm-hmm.
knowing where you can stand in it without becoming an NFT bro. Sorry.
Yeah, this NFT time period was super crazy. I mean, I
Yeah.
had a lot of, right, artist people, we all meet at chai shops. Here in Baroda, it's a dry state, so you don't have pubs, nothing. And so chai laris are the place where you find all. And yeah, every time people would be like, hey, Tenzin, you have just started out doing some music and doing some generative stuff. So why don't you do this NFT thing, and अरे बाबा नहीं करना है यार ये it was a huge thing at that time, but then you still don't feel like कि इसमें करना चाहिए या करना है,
Yeah.
my god, like अभी तो कम हो गया है NFT and all
हाँ.
this. I think people started
Yeah.
realizing how you just take a image from anywhere, you do a small change, and then suddenly it becomes yours,
Mm.
and a lot of issues there, I think,
Yeah.
copyright ka and all this. And with internet, the artwork can be vulnerable at that time,
Yeah.
kabhi kabhi
Artists
it's out
also.
there. Yeah, the right to privacy and all these come into play. I think it's pretty sometimes
It's a bit. I mean, I think Hassan is the one to know the game best because he really understands AI a lot.
mhm.
In terms of all this. But I really found that it seemed very much like a pyramid scheme to me, and now I can say it very openly. That time I was being a bit quiet about it. But I mean, those who are benefiting are benefiting. But there are some honest
Yeah,
people also. Some big artists are also doing it.
yeah,
Like
Jeff
even
Koons
Zach
and all this.
Lieberman and all are putting. Raphael de Courville, he's amazing. I met him also. He's a really nice guy. So
Okay.
it's not always like that market of like toxic people who are doing it. A lot of good people are also in that sector, but I still have my skepticism about it. And already like by using AI, I don't know how much like climate pushback I'm doing, and then ऊपर से NFT mint करने का और कंप्यूटर यूज करने का और बेबी होने का और having a baby itself is a very big climate impact.
Yes.
So then I decided, okay, something I should stop. So I just get into this. And I think it's the same. It's like you have to market yourself to the gallery, and the gallery is pushing your work. Here also, it's like that you're marketing yourself in some Discord channel somewhere, you know, and you're pushing your work. So in that sense, I get it. I am like, okay, वहाँ हासिल करे यहाँ हासिल करे बात वही है. But यही है कि risk भी ज़्यादा है. World, it's unknown. There's so much black box, no transparency in that sense. But they claim transparency that oh now you will get royalty and all. So many people are being fooled also. Mint on my website and they are taking the artwork away. So I don't know. I just don't understand the game, and I just decided to be very quiet about it because I just don't get it. You know, like what's happening, what it means. You know, like I have to continue my journey of expressing ideas of care, and it's not giving me that space. So why should I bother going on?
Got it.
So it's just that, and like places like T5JS, like the Processing Foundation Fellowship I did, it was so amazing. Like imagine getting funding to do streams where I'm just having fun coding with my friends. Like it was amazing. Like I felt like, oh wow, this is like validating my practice by allowing me to do
Yeah,
something.
I saw like they were also just recently also they had announced that there's a fellowship.
The sound
I
one.
thought I'll apply, but then I have not done so much work. So there was like कि हाँ यार मेरे पास इतना experience अभी नहीं है. I still have to work on it. Like, yeah.
ऐसा
Yeah,
नहीं
man,
सोचना,
like,
apply करना.
so
Don't think so much.
okay.
Now you are 29. You have
I mean,
enough
yesterday also I was having conversation with a friend, sculptor. He just told me like, see, Tenzin, we all do many things, but you need to start picking one thing because. And he thought I would say, okay, I'm going to not do coding and everything and go back to sculpture. I think that's what he was expecting. But then
Aw.
I told him, see, as a since childhood, I've always been this experimental person. If I'm in the mountains, then I'll be with the mountains. I'll use whatever I can at that time. I'll go in the jungle. I'll make some wood and everything, whatever organic materials I get. I'll make something there. If I'm in the ocean side, I'll also do something there. But with technology, it's always with me. So whenever I travel with my equipments and I travel with my tattoo machine. So I can do a jam session somewhere. I can play some music or I can do some tattoo, wall painting, whatever it is. I can get my income. I'll do that. It's not a problem. So for him it was like कि यार तुम सोच लो यार तुम अच्छा स्कल्पचर करते हो ऐसे. Then I asked him like the relationship between when we talk about space because with sculpture we usually have a lot of conversation about the form in relation to the space, right, environment. तो मैंने उसको बोला कि when you translate this form not in a physical form but terms of like hearing sounds, it's very different. The idea of architectural space and the environment landscape whatever it is, and so I want to use those sounds to maybe interpret kind of environment that I'm talking about. I think he did understand a little bit, but then I was like, "Ki, Rene, then I'm still exploring, and I want to keep that it because it's interesting for me, and I want to still explore. So I don't want to be like, abhi मैं almost 30 हूँ तो I have to be in this direction. No, I don't want to have this sort of limitations for myself at least. Yeah, and I think talking with you today early in the morning, I think that very inspiring for me,
So sweet.
and especially the idea of mother because this is something that I was never like comfortable sharing with people, and but in recent times I've been talking a lot because of the podcast, and I'm an introvert. I normally don't interact much with people, but then because of this podcast, this media allows me to have this one-on-one conversation. You feel comfortable also because and then there's so many things you can also share, personal things also, And like I see my mom. I was adopted, so my siblings and I were adopted, and my mom's from Germany, but she settled in McLeodganj in Himachal. So I'm a Himachali, and seeing her taking care of all of us by herself, it has always been a very big challenge, and especially me being the black sheep in the family. I was always the rebellious one, and I left my home when I was in my school time. So I at that time, because maybe I was a teenager, and as an artist maybe I was selfish, and I'm still very selfish, but I wanted to find my own way. I did not understand a lot of the things that my mother had in mind, and she would share. But the aspect of always having the support for doing art and music, it's only now in the recent times that I've started communicating with her, and we actually do have a lot of good conversations now. When she was in Amsterdam, every day she goes try and makes time to go and visit museums and sending all the photos. Like she'll go to the museum and picking pictures of all the paintings and then sending it to me. And it's very how you have mentioned. Mothers, even though they are somewhere else, still in their back of their head they have this mind, like, what's my child doing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and even after 30 years, becoming now 30, my mom's like, you're still my kid.
Oh, yes.
I know what you, and if I know you are not in a position to come to Amsterdam yet, but then at least let me send you all the paintings that I have. And like 200, 300 images,
Oh my
like
God,
just
so
coming
sweet.
in my so my mom's like, which one do you like? I think that's a very important and factor that you
Yeah.
had shared in our session, which I really want to be thankful for, because
Thanks for sharing
sometimes
about your life. It's so nice.
we have to be reminded also of what family is, and
Yeah.
with all this technology, still we shouldn't forget
Yeah.
about our families and the people who have always
Yeah.
the human
Connection.
aspect.
Yeah. No, and I
Yeah, I
understand it's
think
difficult for artists because naturally you are living on your own and you have to build your own network. So, sometimes it's very
and it's
isolating,
so
but with, I have to like compulsorily be
it's
around people.
fascinating. It's fascinating because in the morning when I woke up, and I thought this conversation would be like very technical, and I was not so much into like technical things. Like I
Yeah.
still am very new to all these things. So I was wondering, like, should I do some research and then ask her questions? I was like,
Oh.
no, no, no. And this session actually turned out to be something else, like totally something
I'm
else, and
happy. I'm
very
glad.
very interesting. And I
Yeah.
really want to thank you,
Thank you for having me. It was a
Computational
good
Mamaji,
fun.
and
Gee, you're calling
and
me
I
that.
think we will be and I think we'll be in touch, because
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm also a learner. So, and I think
Oh, for sure.
your
Yeah.
guidance will be mean a lot,
No, no, you
and
guide me now
I'll
in touch designer. I've been
share the
trying to
word.
learn for so long. You guide me because I just don't
Yeah, even
understand the software. It's like
Hassan
difficult.
and I, we were also like talking about it, and he showed me a few things that he was trying to do in touch design,
Hmm.
and me, I was also, because I'm approaching it in from the sound aspect,
Hmm.
because I do a lot of work in Ableton. So I do compositions, and I mainly work with digital music. But then, yes, I have also started now working with acoustic sounds. So in that way, I'm trying to like go from that side. Like
Hmm.
I don't know like the coding side, but then using my tracks and my live playing, I'm trying to and use a mic, things like that. So yeah, I think this is we'll conclude this session here,
Yeah.
and
Do what you want. Yeah. Don't be bogged down by 30. My mom, she did her PhD at 59. She finished. Took her 10
wow,
years. But then I thought to myself, ठीक है ना? Everybody has their own timeline. Somebody
yeah,
is becoming
yeah,
artist before 30. Good for them. Let them come in Forbes 30 and
yeah.
it's up to them, not we'll do our thing. Right? Just and that's very rare. Like to be able to continue learning, that to keep that spirit going is not easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, okay,
Exactly.
let's get into a job and okay, that's it, khatam, life is over now. But to be like this free spirited is good. You should continue it. Okay, yeah, you'll have to earn money, of course, to live, to survive, to look after your mummy when she's older. but don't have to like quit your joys.
And can follow her on Instagram and you'll get the updates. Yeah, if you have any questions, suggestions, you can email me at my email ID tenzingopal@gmail.com, and please do follow my other pages as all right.
Thank you. Bye.
Namaste.